Alright guys, so welcome back to another video. Alright, so today I'll be showing you guys how to replace a starter on a BMW with the N52 motor. I know a lot of 3 Series and 6 Series have this motor. And also one more thing, if you guys like my video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not, and yeah, let's just continue. So here's the part number for the starter. I got this at AutoZone for I think about 160 bucks. And then here are the intake manifold gaskets. There's the part number right there. So when you guys replace the starter on these N52 motors, you have to take off the intake manifold. Another thing I want to mention before I start this video is you guys are going to need these eTorx socket set, and I got these from Home Depot for about like 30 bucks. So the first thing you got to do is disconnect the battery, and on these BMWs the battery is located in the back. Out the way. Pop this off, and there's your battery. So I just grab a ratchet and crank it. Just disconnect it, and then I'm gonna just go ahead and use this rag and just place it between the battery post and the negative terminal, so there's no connection or anything. Alright, so now you want to go ahead and remove the cabin air filter, and it's this right here, and it's held in by 6 T25 bolts. And now you're going to go ahead and pop this off, but as you guys can see, it's already broken. But basically what you do is you push down, or I think it's up, and then you just pull them out. I don't know if you guys can see this wire down here. You guys are gonna have to pull it out as well. You grab a flathead, and there's the clip you gotta, or there's a clip you gotta push down, and then you pull it out. I don't know if you guys can see this. Basically, what you do is you're going in and you're pushing this little plastic clip down and pulling at the same time. All right, so after that's done, you gotta remove this cowl. And that's done by removing these plastic pieces on the side. And these pieces are just held in by these little clips right here. You just prime up on both sides. Now you want to go ahead and remove this ambient air temperature sensor. All you got to do is just turn it and then you pull it out like that. There's this little clip holding it right here, but it's broken, as you guys can see. So it has a clip right there on this side, or no, right here on this corner, and then one over here. But on this car, they're missing, so. All right, so then you gotta scoot this little rubber piece back right here that's holding up the cowl, just like that. And then there's one on that side as well. And after that, you can go ahead and remove the cowl. From there, you want to go ahead and remove these 2 bolts up here that hold in that upper engine cover. But as you guys can see, it's missing. If I'm correct, I think it's like one of these. I think it's a 5 or a 6, but this is what I use, like an Allen key, to remove these. Just go ahead and pull this out. Now you're going to want to go ahead and take off your intake manifold. So there's 2 T25 bolts holding this piece in. And then there's also, I think these are 10s holding the airbox housing in. After that, you're gonna go ahead and loosen this hose clamp back there. Yeah, that one right there. Now you want to go ahead and remove this hose clamp right here. And all you need is a flathead screwdriver. You don't have to remove it, you can just loosen it. Now you want to go ahead and disconnect the mass airflow sensor, which is this one back here. Let me get a better angle. Alright, and all you have to do is grab a pick, lift on this tab back here, and just slowly pull up the sensor, just like that. Alright, so from there, the airbox is ready to be pulled out. Alright, so now you want to go ahead and disconnect your oil pressure sensor, and all you got to do is push down on this metal clip and pull out at the same time, and there you go. So now you want to go ahead and remove the intake manifold bolts and nuts. There's a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now you want to go ahead and disconnect the power steering reservoir. It's held in by 2 10mm nuts. Alright, so from there you want to disconnect this brake booster hose, and all you got to do is push down on this ring and pull out at the same time. Just be extra careful because these are really brittle. There you go. Alright, just because this hose right here is like really brittle and I don't want to break it, I'm gonna go ahead and just remove it for now. And up here by the brake booster, you see this white ring right here? All you gotta do is just push it down with like a flathead and then pull the hose out like that. Now you can go ahead and just set this off to the side. From there you can go ahead and set your steering reservoir back. Alright, so after you guys remove the 7 bolts and nuts holding in the intake manifold, should be loose. So now what you want to go ahead and do, pull it off. Oops. So basically what you want to do is just go ahead and move your intake manifold over to the side. I've seen a lot of videos that people remove the intake manifold, which is not really necessary. All you got to do is just scoot it over to the side, and then that's your access hole right there to the starter. Saves you time if you guys do it this way instead of removing everything. I don't like doing that because you have to disconnect like all these hoses and stuff. There's a higher chance that you can, you know, break them. So as you guys can see, there's your starter. So now we're gonna go ahead and remove the power cable, or the positive cable to the starter. Yeah, it's held on by a 13mm nut. I almost forgot you have to disconnect this connector right here. Just like that. It's the same as this oil pressure connector up here, like this. All you gotta do is just push down and then pull it. So once you disconnect, back here. Alright, to remove that second bolt for the starter, I use a 13mm ratchet wrench. So the bolt runs through the back, and then that's the nut that you guys are looking at right there. I know you guys couldn't see that, but alright, so here's that nut I removed, and the nut is a 17mm. So I think you guys can break it loose from here. You guys don't have to break it loose from the back, but you might also have to hold on to the bolt to break the nut loose. Alright, so now that you have the bolts and the nut removed, you can just go ahead and pull out your starter. There we go. And here we have the old starter. As you guys can see, that bolt right there, that's what holds the starter. I just left it there. Here we have the old starter, and here we have the new one. Basically what you guys want to go ahead and do is just compare the connections, make sure everything's the same. By the looks of it, everything looks good, look the same. Now you can go ahead and throw in your new starter. Alright, another thing that I'd like to mention is the bolts for the starter, I would go ahead and replace them because they're made out of aluminum and they're just one-time use. Alright, so your starter is going to sit like this and basically like that towards the bell housing of the transmission. I'm just going to go ahead and slide it in. Alright, so one thing that I did notice about that new starter is that one had the threads for that bolt right here. To put the second bolt for the starter in, grab a little piece of paper or towel and put it over the socket, and then I grab my new bolt. Yeah, so just grab a paper towel or paper and then put your new bolt, and then that way it doesn't fall over. Now you can fish this through. Alright, so now I'm going to tie in the one back here. Alright, so now you're going to want to go ahead and torque down your starter bolts to 20 foot-pounds. Alright, so after you your starter bolts down, you can go ahead and reconnect your power cable that goes to the starter. There we go. Now you can go ahead and replug our connector. There you go. Alright, so now we can replace our intake manifold gaskets. You can grab a little pick or a flathead.
And just pull them out.
Now you want to grab some paper towels and some brake cleaner and basically just clean right here where the new gaskets will sit. And then you also want to clean the head over here, make sure it's nice and clean. Alright, so now that it's nice and clean, we can go ahead and pop in those new gaskets. Once again, there's that part number if you guys need it. These ones are a little harder to get to, be fighting a couple of shit. Oh, come on. This last one's a little hard to get. But just like that, we got the 6th one on. Make sure they're all sitting nice and flush. Alright, so you spray that. And then just kind of clean it a little bit.
Right here, you can see it's got a little dirty. Just give it a nice little wipe, make sure it's nice and clean.
Alright, so after you got all your gaskets in place, you can go ahead and pop the intake manifold back.
There we go. Bam.
Alright, so now you're going to go ahead and torque down your intake manifold bolts to 15 foot-pounds, and you're going to start from the middle and work your way out. Alright, there we go. Alright, so now you're going to go ahead and put your power steering reservoir back. Now you can put this brake booster line back on. Just pops back into place, just like that. You just gotta squeeze it together. Make sure you put this clip back here, just like that. There you go. Make sure it clicks. All right, so now you can install your air filter housing. I'm gonna just go ahead and remove this. Let's go ahead and scoot this back just so I can reconnect this back here. Oh, fuck. Okay, there we go. Once you get it on, you want to go ahead and grab that flathead screwdriver again, retighten this hose clamp. From there, you can go ahead and put your reservoir back. So now you want to go ahead and reconnect the sensor right here. And then you're also going to reconnect your oil pressure sensor. Like that. Alright, so now you can put these E25 bolts back. Alright, so before I put the cowl and the engine cover back on, I just like to inspect everything, make sure I tighten everything. Just go through all the bolts that you tighten, make sure that they're nice and tight. All the connectors, intake manifold bolts, and sometimes, you know, you never know, you get distracted and sometimes you forget to tighten one of them. So yeah, everything looks good. Hose clamp looks good. So now we can go ahead and put in our cowl. I don't know if you guys noticed beginning of the video where this rubber molding came off. You guys can take this off and then install this first.
Let's go back here. Let's install it.
Pop our cowl back in. And we can put our cabin air filter back on. Alright, so now we can pop in these plastic corner pieces. Alright. Now you can connect your ambient air temperature sensor. That's broken anyways. From there, you just go ahead and pop your engine cover back on. Alright, so from there you're pretty much done. All there is left to do is just turn the car on. Before you start it up too, make sure you didn't leave any tools on top of the engine or anything. Alright, so you're pretty much done now. Last thing left to do is reconnect the battery. Okay, so now we pop the battery cover back on and then just twist this little knob over here to lock it in place. So after you reconnect your battery, you can go ahead and turn on the vehicle. And just show some love to the channel because I literally spent like 5 hours recording, getting the angles and stuff. So it could have been an hour job, but I turned it into a 5-hour job just for you guys. And yeah, like just trying to save people some money. Hopefully, they can do it themselves at home, save themselves a couple $100. So yeah, if this video helped you guys out, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're not, comment if you have questions. Until next time, peace out.